How do you feel about the future of SaaS right now with respect to like everything that's happening with AI? Do you think it's just overhyped, or what's your take on it?
So it obviously change is happening. We are very cognizant that AI is here. We're all using it. Our CEO likes to say, you will not be replaced by AI. However, if you don't learn to use AI, you will be replaced. Well, timing is everything, and you can be early to market and fail, as we know. So we had a whole initiative on live social selling, integrating comments.
Where do you think like the future lies for the product? And are there major changes in how people are using direct mail and shipping? Becky, welcome to Product Growth Stories. So happy to have you on the show. I'd love to hear a little bit about your experience. I know you're working on growing and building ship.com. I'd love to hear about what problem is that solving in the market right now?
Great. Well, thanks for having me on the show. I was
Yes.
excited to be here. Ship really is solving the problem of how do smaller businesses that are experiencing rapid growth get a simple ship product, if you will, or solution that isn't over engineered, simple to use, and can integrate into their back end if they're a platform business, right? So I think of us as a more modern brand.
Hmm.
And we have got two doors you can walk through. You can just sign
Hmm.
up and use our, if you're just starting out as an e-commerce seller online, you need a shipping solution and you want to integrate with your Shopify store, easy to do. You can be set up in minutes. If you are a direct sales company and you've got a whole host of sellers that need a shipping solution, through our API, we can integrate on the back end. So it becomes a seamless part of their selling and fulfilling experience. Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, if you're selling, you hopefully are shipping, and it's a necessary evil that we hope to make efficient and
Yeah.
easy and a little bit fun.
That made me think of Gary Halbert, who famously didn't ship the products, wound up in jail. Does ship.com do shipping, or does it also do fulfillment?
We do not do fulfillment, but previously I was at a company called Webgistics, which was acquired by Rakuten, and then
Mhm.
was acquired by Ship Network, which does order fulfillment services and software. This is purely SaaS based, which is way
Yeah.
better. Operating warehouses is not my favorite thing.
Yeah, that is a whole other can of fish for sure. And
Yeah.
I'm curious, so Ship started a while ago, and how has user acquisition changed? Usually, like the way you start and the way you get your foothold, hopefully, it's not the same work and effort as the way you're acquiring users today. I'd love to hear just the journey. Like, what do you start with to get it off the ground, to get to that first, stable point versus what are you doing today?
Well, actually, we started with an app, a real
Hmm.
downloadable mobile app, and it was for shipping, but also tracking your packages. And it was a consumer app. But the road to marketing a consumer app is very expensive. So
Yes.
through
Yes.
acquisition, we required a B2B platform that was solving a very specific problem for direct sales individuals. So you've got companies they're relying on a multi-level marketing sales force, and they needed a very
Mhm.
specific shipping solution that would integrate with their backend. So through acquisition, we retooled, and now although we have a mobile optimized app, it is not a mobile app itself. It's a desktop experience, but also with a mobile app, if you will, mobile user experience. So immediately then we got this concept of one brand, two doors, right? So you can sign up individually still, as I mentioned earlier, but you also were integrating with platform companies, if you will, direct sales. But early on, we were trying to go the PPC route. Google, it's just very expensive. Now, organic search lends us a repeatable result every week. We're getting signups. So that's one way. But if we're going to scale, that's just not a way to scale. So
Yeah.
getting these relationships in place, not only by integrating with the Shopifys of the world, but also we have a new integration with Walmart. Walmart's encouraging sellers to go out in their marketplace and sell. And the shipping piece comes through ship.com, where obviously we're giving
Oh,
them
that's
discounted.
that's amazing. Yeah. For so many SaaS companies, this is the somehow the end game is partnerships so that you don't have to acquire the customers anymore. And it sounds like you're pulling in some of those pieces as well. And I'd love to hear how PPC went because it's a mixed bag. Some people crack it. Sometimes just the unit economics are never going to work. How did you like? I'd love to hear a little bit about what you tried and then where you wound up?
Well, we had a lot of success with PPC at our last company, so we tried the same. At
Mhm.
Webgistics, that was our primary vehicle for user acquisition. It worked very well. In fact, we got so many leads from that. There was a whole host of customers that didn't fit our profile that fit the profile at ship.com of the smaller businesses, because startups don't necessarily merit outsourcing their fulfillment. You have to get critical mass in order to do that. And I'm posting that. But so we knew there was a market for people shipping from their home, basically, or their small offices, and so that's where Ship came from, is serving that marketplace of emerging small business owners, which really, even through the platforms, we're serving the same customer. They just come through a different lens, if you will. The PPC, which I did not run personally, but I was across the meetings, very expensive and just not hitting the mark. And Google kept changing the way in which they reward their advertisers. So it
Yeah.
just felt like a money grab with no repeatable or expected result, if you will. So for us, it
Yeah.
just became ineffective and we don't do it anymore.
Yeah. So you were trying different ways and getting clicks, but not, not at a good user
Right target.
acquisition
Yeah.
costs.
And then there were it just became very infuriating. It was becoming very complex, very expensive, and just not enough transparency, I think, from our perspective. Now,
That's the way the
maybe
advertisers, by the way, that's what us marketers feel the same way. Everything. It's like, okay, how's it going to work today? That's a little bit the vibe for marketers as well. And there's so much that's changing right now in SaaS. There was the SaaS apocalypse, which I don't know if you believe it or not, but the market apparently changed some numbers in the ether about the value of those companies. How do you feel about the future of SaaS right now with respect to like everything that's happening with AI? Do you think it's just overhyped, or what's your take on
all
it?
right, well, I'll age myself. I was around when the computers came out in college.
Yeah.
And when I first started working, we had one terminal with internet we were faxing, right? So it obviously change is happening. We are very cognizant that AI is here. We're all using it. Our CEO likes to say, you will not be replaced by AI. However, if you don't learn to use AI, you will be replaced. So
Yeah.
we feel it's to stay. And in the product, we're embedding it because we think and we know there's just so much data to be mined and ways in which we can present a different user experience through AI. But I will say so I think AI is here and we're going to have to incorporate it into our product, which we're doing right now. But I also think there are ways in which it's being used that I don't like, which is in the customer support realm. So I
Mhm.
don't personally, if I'm calling, I've got lots of vendors, I call support. I do not want to go
I
to a
hate this. Yeah, we all hate this. It's
so that's
yeah.
what we're pretty passionate about at Ship. We actually have customer support people. When you need them, you can talk to them. And we did make about a year ago, we introduced a chatbot on the site. We pulled it down. It was a mess. It ruined our whole HubSpot setup and the way in which we were really servicing our customers. It was not beneficial for anyone. And now that doesn't mean it won't be in the future. Obviously, there's certain automated things you can use chatbots for, but
Yeah.
I really get personally irritated when I get stuck with a chatbot
Well,
and
everybody does. Everybody does, and it's yeah, it's strange. Like, not all costs are bad that we have to eliminate. Some things are just that's part of the value to the customer. It's not what you want to minimize. You always are looking for waste. That would be a great, things that don't interface the customer are great opportunities to
yeah,
automate
back off.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my chief operating officer, our monthly numbers used to take him forever to prepare for that meeting. He's
Yeah.
using AI and it's dramatically made him much more efficient. And now he doesn't dread doing the monthly data and the
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
He can do it much more easily. And then he has more time so that he's just not reporting the numbers, but we're actually analyzing them a lot more in depth and having more strategic discussions and outcomes from that.
Yeah. And now that, you've taken ship.com to this point, like, what are you excited about for the future? Where do you think like the future lies for the product? And are there major changes in how people are using direct mail and shipping?
Well, I think it's really about integrating into whatever selling platform you're using. I go back to this API that we have and that we're working with certain brands and they're finding in some cases if the shipping experience isn't smooth enough, they're going to go to another brand and sell for someone else. So it behooves us to and them to work together to make sure that they've got one unified experience in what they're selling if it's a direct sales company, for example. And just overall, people don't want more apps. They want fewer. And that's where, like, if you're using ship.com and you're selling and you're a first time seller, you can also use our email tool as well as our loyalty rewards tool. So, and it doesn't cost you more money. So I think where you can have fewer apps, it's always better. But you're saying that shipping and ship is strategic. And where does it show up in your ecosystem? Are you going to come to ship.com and integrate directly? Are you going to go through the sales platform you're using? So I think the opportunity for us is to be integrated with more platforms where it makes sense, but based on their selling cycle. So we have one customer that sends out samples. That's their customer acquisition from a sales perspective, right? Once they get those samples, so we're facilitating that, then they go into the realm of selling and needing to fulfill on their own. And that's where ship comes in, where they can get, basically we're providing them discounted shipping labels. Not that hard,
Yeah. Yeah.
but some sites can make it very complex and very
Yeah.
expensive. So it's really pretty simplified, but it can get with all the data in the background and keeping pace with the rates and
Yeah.
charge and, delivery exceptions. There's a lot of mess in the background that we sort of take care of. So I think that'll continue, but
Yeah.
having the insights into those. Okay, if you ship one product and that's it, your product weight, your box weight, very
It's
easy,
easy.
not
Yeah.
complex, but it can become quite complex depending on what you're selling.
Yeah, and I imagine, is this true? If you could tell me, I would guess this is super sticky. If you have this kind of problem and you have a good first experience, it's working.
Yes.
Why in the world would you? This is not the kind of thing you're like, I am going to reevaluate the way I do my shipping. Like, I just don't see
Yeah,
that.
we focus on new customer acquisition. We're not trying to run competitive campaigns to get people to convert and change to
Yeah.
us. That doesn't mean we don't get people like that, but there's so many new entrants in the marketplace all the time when it comes to emerging and businesses, modern new brands. And so we feel like we're in a sweet spot where we can give them something simple, easy, and it gives them more tools than just shipping. It's integrated into their workflow. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. And one thing I'd love to hear about is can you tell us some of the biggest lessons you've learned along the way? There's always things where once you're in the thick of it, those things stick. Do you have any stories like this to share?
Well, timing is everything, and you can be early to market and fail, as we know. So we had a whole initiative on live social selling, integrating comments,
Oh man.
turning that directly into orders that then could be shippable, shipping labels. But then we made a big error. We formatted the video because part of the live social selling is the actual Facebook and the live experience. A lot of sellers use their phones and they're recording vertically, not horizontally. First of all, our image was wrong, so it was this way, but also we didn't
Yeah.
optimize and also the network connectivity wireless was not there yet for this particular technology and the apps we were using. So
Mhm.
we launched it failed and we pulled it. And
Yeah.
it was months of
Early.
work. Yeah,
Yes.
and we had a customer all lined up, but they wanted it perfect. And if the video quality was not going to be perfect and the user experience wasn't going to be this up and down that we use rather
Hmm.
than horizontal, it's just, yeah. So it
I
was painful, but we were early to market and, it just happens. You got to move on. So
Yeah.
we pivoted it and, as they always say, fail forward. It didn't make or break us, but it could have made us a little bit faster to grow
Yeah.
and acquire
Yeah,
new
those
customers.
big bets, like if you stop making them, then you become a fossil. But they are painful because most of them fail. Most anything new the company tries probably is going to fail.
The
It's
one
just the
thing
way
we
it is.
the one thing we added, and we should have done it years ago, we added insurance. We were offering
Mhm.
insurance, but then the way in which the USPS was offering insurance and what we were offering, things had changed. So
Mhm.
we went to a third-party provider, integrated it into our user experience, and that's been a good revenue producer for us and giving customers the peace of mind they want with insurance. So that was a nice add-on, and we should have done it a long time ago. So
Yeah.
there's a learn like the obvious thing could be the most profitable thing as an add-on.
Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Becky. It's been great talking with you.
You too. Love to have a great day and thanks for having me.